Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Laura, this is Culture Nonsense, and today I have a very special video essentially responding to myself, to the FabFitFun video that I posted early this week. So if you've seen the video, you know that I was pretty enthusiastic about the service. I've been a customer for them for 2 years, and like I said, not sponsored at all. I just thought I would do an unboxing video because I thought it was fun. Now, in this unboxing video, I had unknowingly chosen a product from an MLM, or at the very least, because this company denies that they are an MLM, a company that I believe exploits their employees and has some unfair business practices. Now, this was in the customization option 3. It was the jump rope and 3-month subscription workout service from Camp Gladiator. And that's the company we're going to be taking a bit of a deeper dive into today. I wanted to talk about the controversy with FabFitFun and the anti-MLM community and get a little bit more into what Camp Gladiator is, why people have problems with it, and why it seems pretty much like an MLM, even though they deny that's exactly what it is. I would also like to say that this video might be a little long, I'm not sure, but it's a big topic we're diving into, so I'm going to try to put in some chapter markers that you can see in the description below if a certain area of this interests you more than others. Before we get into the real meat of this video, I'd also like to provide a disclaimer that everything that I'm saying is of my own opinion and from research that I found over the past week online, and I'm going to be posting a lot of that in links below. So if you would like to see where I got most of this information, that will be available as well. So just as a refresher for anyone who is new to the anti-MLM community or has no idea what we're talking about when we say MLM, MLM stands for multi-level marketing, and it is a type of business structure that is inherently predatory, in my opinion. And a lot of these companies that are MLMs are really just dressed up pyramid schemes. In the MLM business structure, an employee or seller, usually they're called independent contractors because they're not usual employees, can earn income from 2 different revenue streams. So this would usually either be selling a type of product or recruiting someone, making a bonus off of them, and then being able to collect commission off of everything that your recruits receive. And if you recruit someone and they recruit someone else and on down the line, you would typically be able to make a piece of commission off of all of those sales. That's called a downline, when your recruit recruits someone else and so on. And you, at the top of that structure, would be the upline. So we know that an MLM is really a pyramid scheme when the majority of the income that you receive is not actually from selling your own products, but it's really from the fact that you're getting all of your income from just recruiting people. Essentially, you are making money off of people by bringing them into the business. And this can become a problem when the market becomes oversaturated and the people at the bottom have no one else to recruit because the people at the top have done it all already. So you buy into a system where you believe you're going to make a lot of money because some people who got in early and potentially have 1,000 people underneath them have made quite a good living. But when your market becomes saturated with so many people in the business, there's really nowhere left for you to go because you're at the bottom of the pyramid. So if we go to the Camp Gladiator website, we can see a little bit of an origin story here. This is Amy and Jeff, the founders of the company, and it started back in 2007, 2008. Kind of a cute story. On the morning of their wedding day, Amy here went to try out for American Gladiator, and she actually won. They both competed in it, and they took their $100,000 prize money earnings in order to start Camp Gladiator. So it's one of those stories where the company started out small, has eventually grown. They used to only offer workouts in in-person locations. However, they have now switched to online workouts as well. So they say they can host people in a number of areas. They have expanded to a lot of states physically, primarily in the South. However, they have online workouts now as well, like I said, so you can really do it anywhere. So Camp Gladiator says they run on 5 core principles: honoring and serving God and others, abundance and power through others, not exactly sure what that means, responsible, solutions-oriented mindset, long-term thinking and short-term sacrifices, and success with hard work, commitment, and action. Now, all of those may seem kind of good on the surface, but if we're thinking in this in terms of an MLM, I have a couple alarm bells going off, especially in terms of sacrifices and success through hard work, because that's what we hear a lot of the time when it doesn't work out. It's kind of blamed on you, you didn't try hard enough, you didn't sacrifice enough, etc. So over here in the FAQ page, they also talk about, what is Camp Gladiator? They say it's a boot camp style fitness program designed for all adults of all ages and fitness levels. They have over 10,000 outdoors and virtual workouts worldwide every week. And, they also say that it's a team-based workout program that was also a successful franchise platform for nationally accredited certified personal trainers to grow their own commission-based businesses. There's also a lot of language in this company about how it's your own business. And as we can see here, it's completely commission-based, which is another thing that it shares in common with MLMs. Another pretty funny thing is that there's actually a question in the FAQ page: is Camp Gladiator an MLM? So they vehemently deny that they are not an MLM. They say it's not a network marketing company. Every franchise trainer at Camp Gladiator operates their own business where they provide amazing workouts to Camp Gladiator campers worldwide and are certified personal trainers. The primary way Camp Gladiator trainers grow their businesses is through selling camp and growing their user base, or camper base. Like most companies, Camp Gladiator compensates their trainers for referring in other talented certified personal trainers so that they can continue to provide the best workout experience to their campers. Referrals are not required to have a successful Camp Gladiator training business that positively impacts lives. The problem with this here is that I really don't know how this shows that they aren't an MLM, because what they say they do is, number one, sell workouts. And essentially, workouts could be considered the product in this scenario. So if you're selling workouts to customers, I don't really see how that's different from selling an MLM product to customers. And then they also talk about growing your team with referrals. And they say it's not necessary, but most MLMs also say that that's not a necessary part of their business model. They really sell you on the fact that you can make your business only by selling the product. So they're doing the same thing here, saying that you can make your business by selling your workouts and creating your larger customer base. I don't see how that's different from an MLM. Another thing that's a little weird is that Camp Gladiator at various points has talked about how there's, no ceiling to earn and you can potentially earn up to $100,000 or more. And those types of claims are really similar to what we hear in a lot of MLMs. Over here on their website, when they're talking about trainers, they say that franchisees own their own businesses, not their own facilities. We've got the lowest cost fitness franchise and the highest quality trainers in the industry. Isn't the point to make money, not spend a crazy amount before you even start? So let's talk about that. Yes, I think it is admirable that you have to be a certified personal trainer before you want to start this business. However, that costs money. Now, you may have your CPT already, but if you don't, it could cost potentially hundreds to over $1,000 depending on where you get it from, or if you add on any other certifications like being certified in yoga, for example. So that's already a pretty large expense. And continuing to talk about costs, on their own website, it says that while startup costs vary among Camp Gladiator owners and trainers, the total estimated initial investment to franchise with us ranges anywhere from $2,580 to $7,955, depending on the franchisee. The initial franchise fee for new franchisees consists of a one-time payment of $1,000 if paid in one lump sum, or $1,100 if a franchisee chooses to pay Camply in installments. Other costs include such fees as completing a background check and attending academy, in addition to various fees a franchisee may incur in purchasing the necessary technology devices to operate the Camp Gladiator training dashboard, e.g. iPad, laptop, or smartphone, to fitness equipment needed to run a Camp Gladiator camp. So I find it very interesting that they say they're, the lowest cost franchisee option when you have all of these costs that you have to incur, and they're not even actually giving you a location to do any of this. You still have to find a location, I believe, yourself. So we've now laid out the initial investment plan for joining Camp Gladiator. So what does your actual compensation look like? The way I understand their payment structure, and I could be wrong about this, but I didn't really find any information disclosure statement anywhere or a ton of information about how the trainers actually get paid before you sign up to be a trainer. But I believe it has to do with how many people sign up for Bold under you. It doesn't really even have to do with how many people come to your classes, because if you sign someone up for the Bold membership, which I believe starts at around $79 for an in-person location per month, then you would be receiving that cost from that person. Obviously, the company takes out a piece. If a trainer recruited you, they take out a piece. So you would be getting money from the people who sign up for Bold under you. However, if someone signs up under another trainer and ends up coming to your own classes because they like your workout style better, they like your location better, it fits in better with their time schedule, you do not get paid for them showing up to your workout classes. And as a trainer, you're not allowed to ask them to switch to you. So I don't really see how this makes a lot of sense, because you could potentially be in a situation where you're teaching an entire class of people who didn't sign up underneath you, and I don't understand how you get any income. I couldn't really figure out how that works if you get paid by people who sign up underneath you. A lot of what I found out in terms of how employees are actually compensated came through a lot of employee reviews on Indeed or Glassdoor, or things people had said in Reddit. Now, I understand you might take these things with a grain of salt. However, I found dozens of reviews that had similar types of complaints or issues, and I really couldn't find much other information than that. So we're just going to go with what I found online, and like I said, believe it or not, but I think it would be very weird if dozens and dozens of people were having the same type of issues and were lying about it. So some of these reviews say things like, the real mission is to make as many people bold so they are under contract, making those on the top money. The next step is to get your friends bold, then trainers convince people to become trainers, making money from them and who they got to get bold, and so on. It's one sales contest after another, you work insane hours, cult-like obsession over the CEOs, crazy amount of hype, and promising massive incomes. All of that sounds like an MLM to me, especially talking about getting someone bold, getting other people to sign up, and then getting commission based off of who they get to go bold as well. Here's another one. Loved the tiny amount of work I did for them. I worked for free though. I was never once paid from this company ever. They talk it up about how great it is. I taught a few classes, and once I realized they weren't going to pay me, I stopped working for free and left. The people are awesome to work with, but the pay is low for this position. Must like to tell people no to work here. Upholding binding contracts is a large part of your job. That's something we're going to get to later in terms of customer complaints from the Better Business Bureau. They tell you at the beginning this is an opportunity, not a promise. And that is true. A few do very well in this business, but many do not. Be prepared for more and more to be taken out of your paycheck, and more demands as well as favoritism. Know that your work is solely helping them grow as a company, not much security for you as an individual. But when you leave Camp Gladiator, unless you meet a high criteria for a long period of time, you're going to leave with nothing. This person says, I agree with other reviews I read about Camp Gladiator. Unless you're willing to put aside family and friends and your own personal health, you're not considered a team player, or you are quickly dismissed and overlooked. Even if you are successful on paper, you are disregarded. Also, there are a ton of expenses and it has quickly turned into an MLM. No, thank you. If you are not a salesperson, this is not the job for you. Yes, the company is fun and the trainers are great, but you pay for everything. You have to get people to sign up for Camp Gladiator before you even become eligible to open your location. Don't let the salary fool you. You have to spend over $1,000 just to get your first check of maybe $300. This job is mainly for those who are looking to be a salesperson, not a personal trainer. Only 5% of what you do has to do with training. Don't make the same mistake I did. This job is 100% commission, so expect to spend much of your time turning your social media platforms into a shill tool. Camp Gladiator says the average salary of a personal trainer is $75,000 their first year working full-time. Once I completed my internship, I was given access to salary levels of other trainers in my area. Those who have been working full-time for years were under $30,000. Camp Gladiator demands a lot of your time and is not a good fit for those with families or other commitments. Travel is also required to make money with this company. And last one here, 100% an MLM, basically a marketing sales job with a side of training. If you are lucky to get a great director and a non-saturated area, you may be able to make a little bit of money, but the majority of your check will be taken away by headquarters every time they do a promotion or a check-in challenge. Count on getting no money. Several times I didn't even make enough to pay rent. You're told it's your business, but it's definitely not. Look to spend around $2,000 plus in startup fees, travel, mandatory marketing kit, equipment, etc. You will not make your money back anytime soon after opening a camp. Absolutely no work-life balance. You're expected to live and breathe Camp Gladiator. The amount of text messages alone you'll get is overwhelming. Toxic environment, horrible compensation. I also have concerns about the safety of the campers. There's no way one trainer can pay attention to the form of 50 people. So next, like I said, we're going to look at a couple more in-depth examples that I found on Reddit, for example, and then we're going to dive into what complaints customers have had with the company. Okay, here we go from a former trainer. They say they're going to give a rundown of the process. So before signing a contract, you have to assist with camp. So you must co-train or audition at a current camp for a certain amount of time. The amount of time you'll have to do this is at the discretion of the lead trainer or area director. Pay for said time spent at these auditions is also at the discretion of the area director. So you probably won't get paid for it. So you have to make 10 sales for other trainers before you can open your own location. Then you have to attend and pass academy. This person says $150 plus lodging. I've seen others figures that say $200, so I don't know if it's changed. This $150 does not include lodging, which you're also responsible for. And also travel to Austin if you don't live in Austin. I don't know if this is still mandatory for different people who are doing this virtually in other parts of the company, but it seems like yes, it is. Academy is a 3-day long conference where they teach you all about Camp Gladiator, culminating with the final audition at the very end. This is where they tell you that your success or failure falls 100% on you. If you fail, it's because you just didn't work hard enough. And it's definitely not because you're at the bottom of the pyramid in your area. They will parade the top of the pyramid throughout each conference, each one telling you that you too can earn a 6-figure salary with Camp Gladiator. You just have to work for it. You'll also be lightly trained in sales because this is a sales job, not a physical training job. Finally, you have your final audition. You prepare a 5 to 10 minute workout and lead it in front of a group of area directors from outside your region. Basically, unless you have the personality of a wet mop, you'll pass. They pass nearly everybody. So then you sign a contract with Camp Gladiator and buy a starter kit, which is between $500 to $750, and you sign an independent contractor agreement and pay for your kit. You get a table cover, a flag, some marketing materials, a Nike Dry Fit trainer shirt. Depending on which kit you buy, you may also get a whiteboard tripod with additional marketing material and a water cooler cover. So then you can buy additional equipment, and it says at minimum you need iPad, pens, clipboard, markers, duct tape, cones, speaker. And that can be a big expense for some people. Like, not everyone has an iPad, and those are expensive. So then it says it helps to have a halfway smart AD. I didn't have that luxury. So I guess you are determining your location and times by yourself. So then you open a preview camp. It's like a soft opening. You're training people for free. So then you have people sign up for your camps. There are 3 different contracts of varying lengths of time, $79, $89, or $99 a month. You will keep between 60 to 65% of this money. And that is also different from what Camp Gladiator says on their website. They say it's 80%. And then this person says, I use the word keep loosely. You also have to pay for t-shirts, marketing, or whatever other crap Camp Gladiator makes you pay for from the money you keep. Unfortunately, a camper could sign up with one trainer but end up coming to your camp exclusively. You will not get paid for this camper unless they ask to switch primary locations, and as a trainer, you're not allowed to ask them to switch, so you're stuck training them for free. How much money is realistic in this scenario? Most area directors will claim that camps have between 20 to 25 campers. This number is something that you will build up over time. To earn $3,000 per camp, so let's say you have 10 camps a year, you get paid one time per camp, you have to have about 100 campers. I don't have the exact numbers, but I would estimate that most people have less campers than that. And this means that you're running 4 to 5 locations, working 60 hours a week or more to earn $30,000 a year if you're lucky. So what's a trainer to do? How do you make that 6-figure salary? You have to get a downline. And this is the thing with MLMs as well. You can technically make money doing just sales, but a lot of the time it is not enough for an income. So you have to build a downline. So they say, yes, you will have to recruit other trainers and you will get a slice of their commission. And the person that recruited you, they get a slice of their commission as well. Isn't that swell? And by no means do those in positions of power try to steal those new recruits, because that would go against the Christ-centered nature of this pure, upstanding organization. Sense a bit of sarcasm there. You can also play the political game and try to move up the ranks. Area directors get their own downline. They get a cut of every trainer's income that fall under their jurisdiction. In addition, they are in a prime position to absorb any new recruits in their area, thereby receiving double income from their downlines. So there you have it. It's pay to play and you earn money from your downline. Tell your friends and don't sign up. Customer service sucks and you'll never get out of your contract. So that's the first example we're going to look at, and I think it does a pretty good job of outlining how it's really hard to make any money in this company unless you pursue the MLM route. I have one more post here that just kind of points out all of the ways that they take money out of your paycheck as well. Trainers are expected to run and organize Camp Gladiator games without getting paid. They're expected to go to semi-annual conferences without getting paid. And while these meetings are optional, Camp Gladiator also says that it's optional for them to renew your contract. Every marketing event trainers run is also unpaid. Do they come to your work to host a lunch or run a field day or elementary school? All those are done for free. Money is taken directly from trainer paychecks without their consent for whatever HQ deems necessary. All the points that you spend from your check-in and referral, those are taken directly out of the trainer's paycheck. And I believe this is specifically referring to points you can get as a customer to redeem for money off. So I think what they're saying here is that if you get, let's say like $5 or $10 off from accumulating points, that money is actually taken out of the trainer's paycheck. So the Camp Gladiator company still gets all the money that it wanted from you. Additionally, have you ever gotten a free t-shirt? Do you think HQ just eats the cost of that? Nope, it's the trainers. If someone's credit card is declined and they refuse payment, guess who pays for that? Also the trainer. Every time someone signs up for a free camp, it's not free for the trainer. They're literally paying for people to come to camp. Have you been around for a total transformation yet? If a trainer does not make their sales quota, they get fined. And when Bold Week goes away, do you think trainers are going to get paid more for extra time worked? Nope. Furthermore, there was actually a class action lawsuit that was attempted to be filed against Camp Gladiator in 2016. It was over unpaid wages, if you could believe it or not. However, they filed a motion to dismiss, and I didn't hear anything after that, so it seems like nothing came of it. You can look at the case text here. It's available for free online, and I read through some of this motion, and it seems like the main area of contention is the fact that this person was doing this unpaid labor basically during the time when they were an intern, essentially, and they wanted to be paid like an employee. So Camp Gladiator says that because they were an intern, they didn't really have to pay them an actual salary, because when you're doing your kind of training, they don't pay you for it. And I don't think this went anywhere, pretty much based on technicalities of the fact that they weren't an employee, they're an independent contractor, or seen as an intern. So from what I found out, it seems that to be a trainer at Camp Gladiator, you have to find your own location and times to set up your workout classes. You have to create your own workout classes. You have to source your own customer base and get people to come to your classes by yourself. And you have to buy your own equipment for the classes. So I honestly don't even see why you need Camp Gladiator if you have to do all of that legwork yourself. You can't even say, oh, there's a built-in customer base from other Camp Gladiator members, because you don't get paid if they start coming to your classes. So I don't see why Camp Gladiator is even necessary for these personal trainers if they're just doing all the work themselves and paying money to a parent corporation that doesn't really seem to help them out. So you're doing the majority of the work and you have to split up your paycheck with money going to headquarters and money going to trainers who are above you in the pyramid. So really it seems like the only way you can make money is if you recruit other people and get money off of their commissions, which is, again, very similar to an MLM. So I don't really see a benefit from being a trainer at Camp Gladiator. And now we're going to look at some of the issues of being a customer there as well. I would like to preface this by saying there are actually a ton of customer referrals saying they enjoyed the workout programs, they enjoyed their trainers, they liked the workouts, and this is common across the board. I think even trainers who had problems with the company itself really liked some of the other trainers they were working with, and they liked their campers as well. So I would like to say that there were a lot of people who had positive experiences, because it seems like a lot of the people who sign up to be trainers do actually put a lot of time and effort into this and make an enjoyable experience for the customers. However, there are some problems too, because Camp Gladiator's customer service makes it almost impossible to cancel your enrollment for Bold, whatever plan you choose. You can even see here on their website in the FAQ section for how do I cancel my Bold membership, they say that, you have to call them, and if you are eligible to cancel, which is pretty weird because for most places in my experience, you can just cancel if you want to cancel a service. You don't have to prove that you're eligible. So they said, if you're not eligible to cancel, please contact us to see what options are available. And it pretty much seems like there are no options. So they said, we're committed to learning and growing, so we will also welcome feedback on your experience. Please note, we answer all calls in the order they are received, so there is sometimes a wait until you are able to speak with someone. That is another huge complaint. People have alleged that they have wait times of an hour and a half, so they can't really get to customer service either. Additionally, they say all cancellation requests must be called in and processed 30 days prior to your next bill date, which is, essentially a month and seems pretty hard to do. So I'm assuming that most people, even if they are able to cancel, are stuck with, one more bill date, because it's pretty hard to cancel 30 days prior to your next bill date. So if we head over to the Better Business Bureau, we see that they have 175 complaints. So here's one that's pretty interesting. A lot of them have to do with billing and collection issues or customer service. My spouse subscribed to Camp Gladiator, an intense fitness online service. After attending 3 to 4 classes, we realized it was too intense for her health conditions and discontinued. With the fine print in the sign-up process, we did not realize that they require a 12-month payment. They continued to, I'm assuming, charge $39 a month for 4 months, and then due to a credit card change, they could not charge us. We responded to their emails about the payment, requesting them to cancel membership repeatedly, but in vain. This week when I called them, they said we have to pay for all 12 months to cancel the membership. Upon requesting for an email to send my appeal, they said they do not have an email address and any discussion has to be had either on the phone or on chat. Also threatened that they will engage a collection agency and damage my credit history. I offered to pay for the 2 months of pending bills, which is 4 months of payments for nothing, but they continue to harass us. This is a big scam. This one says, I broke my wrist. I reached out to the person who signed me up, sent her a text telling her I had an injury and had to get surgery and was not going to use the service for at least 6 months. She never responded. Well, after my surgery and on opioids for 2 months because I had some complications, didn't get information and didn't follow up. They ended up sending me to collections. I reached out and told them I could provide medical documents if they needed to. They said they could take me out of collections. I explained my situation and how the young lady didn't help me or guided me to the best way to handle this, but there was no way I would need the service because I can't work out. I know if I have medical problems such as an injury, I could in fact cancel. No one's willing to help me resolve. This says, unfortunately, we no longer have access to the customer's account. We tried to reach the customer before it got to this point. The balance and debt would need to be resolved with our collections agency. So you can see their average customer review is 1.46 stars out of 5. Here's another one. I was sold a virtual gym membership with the impression that if I set up a membership, I would receive a lower price. No longer use the service, so I wanted to request it to be canceled. They're now saying I have to provide medical history for both myself and mother in order to do so. This should have been explained when this was sold, and I have yet to see documentation that this was the case. I just provided my card number. The staff all have bad attitudes, running a scam to collect money. I want to end my contract for both myself and my mother without having to provide medical history, which is none of their business. They are not my healthcare provider, and I am not around their other clients, so I should not have to provide my private medical history to cancel. Again, I believe this is a scam, and I refuse to do business with them any longer. They already have 79 complaints with you regarding billing issues. So their response was, please see a copy of the customer's signed contract attached. Our cancellation information is within the terms of our contract. We apologize if this was not verbally explained, but it is able to be reviewed by the customer. Early cancellation can be granted for medical issues. We do not need medical history or information. If you choose to take this route, please provide a doctor's note stating you cannot participate in Camp Gladiator via live chat on our website. At this time, the customer's account will remain open. However, I think if you're providing a doctor's note and the doctor has to give a reason why you can't participate, that's inherently medical history and information. So they rejected the response and said, if this is the only reason to get out of the contract is to provide medical history, based on other complaints, the doctor has to provide some reasoning for not participating. I am not willing to provide my medical history. Something this serious should be disclosed ahead of taking my money. This is a scam. Now they have almost 100 billing complaints. This person says, no medical history needed. Simply a doctor's note stating that the customer cannot participate in Camp Gladiator. Sure. So pretty much most of these complaints have to do with the fact that it is very difficult to cancel. They will sick collections on you, and it is very hard to find out the actual terms of cancellation. So lucky for you guys, I found their terms and conditions page, and as you can see, it's very long. I'm not familiar with signing up for, membership such as this, but I would think that a lot of it would have to do with, health and safety, but a lot of it talks about how you're locked into the contract. So, the bold membership agreement is a legally binding agreement. Please read this agreement carefully before signing or registering. You voluntarily agree to be bound by the terms and conditions of this agreement. And so if you scroll down here, it talks about payments, and there is actually a cancellation area further down. So it says, to cancel your Bold membership, you must contact our camper support team through online access at campgladiator.com/contact and complete our then current cancellation steps provided by camper support at least 30 days before your next monthly billing date. However, you can see here that they don't actually state what the then current cancellation steps are. And if you go to this, campgladiator.com/contact, it's literally just a way to contact them. It doesn't show anything about what the actual terms and conditions are. So here, I think this is pretty misleading because it doesn't state that, you can't get out of it unless you have medical issues. So let's see. Yeah, and you have to do it at least 30 days before your next monthly billing date. Unless you timely complete all the cancellation steps provided by camper support, you are not permitted to cancel your Bold membership, including any additional Camp Gladiator services incorporated by reference in this agreement. Except as explicitly permitted under this agreement, you may not cancel your membership prior to fulfillment of your minimum Bold commitment. All inquiries regarding Camp Gladiator's cancellation policy will be directed back to this paragraph. But again, this paragraph does not say you have to provide medical documentation. If you look down at the very bottom, where is it? See, it's a very hard to find. Let's see, down here, buyer's right to cancel. If you wish to cancel this agreement, you may cancel without penalty by making or delivering written notice to Camp Gladiator. This notice must state that you do not wish to be bound by the agreement and must be delivered or mailed before midnight on the 3rd business day. Oops, no, you just have like a 3-day cooling off period, apparently. Okay, apparently you may also cancel the agreement if you become disabled. Your estate may cancel in the event of your death, and you must prove such disability by a doctor's certificate, and Camp Gladiator may also require that you submit to a physical examination by a doctor agreeable to you and Camp Gladiator. If you cancel, Camp Gladiator may retain or collect a portion of the agreement price equal to the proportionate value of the services or use of locations that you have already received. So this is the part down here, I believe, that more explicitly lays out what you have to do to cancel. But again, that's not in the top cancellation paragraph. So this is pretty hard to find. And I don't think that it is really above board, making it so difficult buried in here. So after all that, we're back to FabFitFun. If you couldn't tell from this video, I am not at all pleased with the exploitative practice of Camp Gladiator, in my opinion, and the vast amounts of documentation that we have from customers that it's extremely hard to cancel their accounts. I don't really think it's above board the way they've buried this information, and it seems extremely scammy that they try to collect on you even if you try to cancel. Also, all of this information was extremely visible online. It took me 2 days to find all of this, and I think it would be pretty easy for FabFitFun to look into it as well, especially the Better Business Bureau information, which is really obvious. So some people have seemed to think that everyone getting upset about FabFitFun including an MLM product in their fall box is blowing things a little bit out of proportion. And I can see that. My big problem is not so much that they included the item in the first place. I mean, I will say I'm disappointed at the fact that they didn't do their due diligence with finding out information about this company. However, there were many, many, many complaints from people who talked to FabFitFun and expressed their displeasure at the fact that this MLM product was there. And FabFitFun's response to all of these people is what was really disheartening to me. Many people have talked about posts on Instagram being deleted, which is a little bit fishy, and they've talked about threads being delisted on FabFitFun's website. Now, FabFitFun has stated that they delisted these threads to put them all in one thread so that the information could be all in one place. However, it could also just be to decrease visibility from the issue, and I think that the response was also a little bit lackluster. So there is still a thread up about Camp Gladiator and it being an MLM, and Katie, the editor and co-chief and founder, responded to a lot of the complaints that people had. However, like I said, I don't really think this response addresses a lot of the core issues at hand. So, she talks about why we chose the jump rope and that it's only 1 out of 9 items you can choose for customization category 3. the issue is not the jump rope itself. The issue is the company that you got the jump rope from. And, she even states in here that the hope with partnering for them with a 3-month trial, the point of there being a 3-month trial is so that you might sign up for Camp Gladiator when that 3-month trial is over. So luckily your personal information is not given out, and it is structured so that after the 3-month trial, you have to opt in to become bold. So at least they won't have your credit card information. And if you have signed up through FabFitFun, you're not going to be subject to, the really difficult cancellation process that we've already gone through. And then here it's like Camp Gladiator has told us their business is structured as a franchise. Their trainers are not required to recruit other trainers, and they have indicated that more than 70% of their trainers never recruit another trainer. So the thing is, though, again, just because they're not required to doesn't mean that they don't do it. And I would assume with so many ex-trainers and the fact that it's difficult to make money, this 70% here probably has a very high turnover rate, and that 30% is probably the people who have made a significant downline and can make money through doing it the MLM way. However, that's just my opinion. I don't have any proof of that. So it's just really kind of dancing around the issue here, because even if you say, fine, it's not an MLM, we do have a lot of evidence from people that they do not treat their employees well, they do not treat their customers well, and overall, I don't think this response really gets at a lot of the anger and frustration that a lot of people had. And finally, in case you're one of those people saying, well, it was just a one-time thing, I found another post from about 2 years ago that talks about FabFitFun and how on some of their, product lists that they post on Facebook, they used to be promoting, a Limelight or Limelight eyeliner and as well a doTERRA deodorant. And this person here says that because they don't endorse MLMs, they reached out and asked FabFitFun not to endorse MLMs because of their predatory practices. And she said, I was still disappointed to see they gave me a form answer for most anyone who complains publicly on their Facebook page. I'm unsure what kind of follow-up would be best, if any. So apparently this is not the first time FabFitFun has endorsed MLMs, and it's not the first time that they have ignored complaints about MLMs as well. And it's a little bit ominous that right down here they says, want to continue my subscription. At least they aren't slipping MLM products in their boxes yet. Well, now we know they officially are. So I think I got out everything I wanted to say. There was a lot of information. I might have forgotten a few things. Maybe I'll post some updates if I found out anything else. But I really just wanted to say, I don't think I'm going to be able to continue my subscription with FabFitFun anymore. And again, it's not because of the fact that they put this in the box, but it's the fact that they're really ignoring a lot of the complaints from customers. I've seen a lot of people now refusing to renew with FabFitFun because of this issue. If they're not going to listen to our complaints about MLM products, maybe they'll listen to dollar signs if we stop renewing our subscriptions. Honestly, they say voting with your wallet is really one of the things that gets people to pay attention, because if a lot of people unsubscribe over this, it might make them pay attention. If we don't want subscription services such as this to be supporting MLMs, we have to show them that it actually really bothers us. These companies are predatory and it's not okay to be supporting them. So I would ask you, if you know anyone who gets FabFitFun and doesn't like MLMs, share this video with them. And I would also ask you to reach out yourself through FabFitFun's customer complaint areas, because if enough people make noise about this and cancel subscriptions, maybe they will stop working with MLMs. Because like I said, I really liked FabFitFun and I don't want to cancel with them. I just feel like I have to if this is what their response is going to be to MLMs. I hope you found this video informational. I'm sorry if it wasn't the type of information you wanted to learn about FabFitFun. And if you already signed up for that Camp Gladiator subscription, know that you're going to be attached to a trainer who's not going to get paid for any of your time. I'm going to have more videos coming out shortly. Let me know if you want more anti-MLM stuff or anything else. I hope everyone has a great day, great Labor Day weekend, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.